Hey, y'all, welcome to Vetted. I'm Patrick. I have another great video for you today. As always, daily videos on Vetted. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you love the content we do, please hit the subscribe button so you can be reminded every day of a new video coming out. All right, so let's jump in. You may have read the title, seen the thumbnail. I need your help, okay? You're about to see why. So a little background here. I host another podcast called The Lone Star Plate. It's a Texas-based podcast. I'm here in Texas and, interview Texas celebrities basically about any projects they have coming up. So authors, actors, directors, musicians, politicians, scientists, comedians, you name it. Done hundreds of interviews. Phenomenal. Love it. Check it out. Not UFO related. But last summer, we kind of got into the space a little bit, just in the channel, did a couple things. I was interested after seeing the Basement Office stuff, and I wanted to do a video on it. So we reached out to Nick Pope. We couldn't get him on. Coincidentally, he has come on Vetted, but he didn't come on the Lone Star Plate. And he recommended someone else called UFO Jane, and we did a podcast, and great. But then something else happened afterwards. We reached out to Luis Elizondo. I was like, oh, yeah, we got to interview this guy, right? So we reached out, and their representative, whoever I reached out to, said, yeah, love to do an interview. He's got a book coming out, and we'll do interviews when that happens. He's not doing any interviews right now. And if you've noticed, he hasn't done any interviews, aside from one that I know of. Maybe, I guess there's a couple more. I don't know. But I'll get to that in a moment. But something interesting happened with that person that I was reaching out to. They called me, and we had a conversation on the phone, and I recorded it, and I used it in a video on the Lone Star Plate because that person said something to me that was quite interesting that at the time nobody knew about. And still to this day, I haven't seen anyone else talk about it. So what is that video? What's it about? Let's take a look. Well, there's me. Shorter hair. Yeah, I've been growing out my hair since last summer. That's my old studio. Man, I missed that place, to be honest with you. But had to move out of there. And so basically the video is this. Look, Luis Elizondo working on top secret project. That's right. This person, I'm going to play a clip of the recording. And then we'll go from there. All right, let's listen here. Let's find out what it is, and then we'll discuss what was said.
We're going to be promoting a book and, another top secret project we're involved in. And anybody who's a part of anything video is going to completely eat their words within the next 90 days.
So, yeah, that conversation lasted a long time. And my apologies. Anyway, that's the podcast. Go check it out, guys. There it is, Lone Star Plate. And that video got 11,000 views. Lots of comments, 127 comments. And I began to think, what is that top secret project? Right back then, I was like, what is this? What's going to happen? I guess we're going to find out in 90 days. Well, 90 days came and went, and a year has gone by. I have reached out to that person again. I didn't ask about the top secret in the 90 days, but just with the book and what's going on. And as you've noticed, Lou Elizondo's book has not come out. It's supposed to come out last September, and it still hasn't come out. It's been a year now. So I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest with you. But it got me thinking, what is this top secret project that Lou was working on? And what was this thing that everyone was going to eat their words? Because it got me thinking that it could be David Grush and his whistleblower and his testimony and coming out. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys think? What could that thing be? The top secret project. Is it the David Grush? I'll tell you why I think it's the David Grush thing. So Jesse Michaels, right? He just released an interview with David Grush, right? And in that interview, for a split second, he says how he knows David Grush. And he says that he had a friend that served with David Grush in the Air Force, and he's known David Grush for a couple years, right? Well, Jesse Michaels, I've been following that guy a while on YouTube. Love him. And, he did an interview with Luis Elizondo during this time when he wasn't doing interviews. He released this video, and inside of it was all this stuff with Luis Elizondo. And at the time, that wasn't happening, right? It was kind of like, oh, shit, this is new info from Luis. And I noticed that they're good friends, right? And then I've talked about this in another video, some of the areas that they went for their interview, that's exactly where David Grush and Jesse Michaels also hold some parts of the interview, right? When they're out like walking in the canyons and stuff, like outside and taking the hikes, same area where him and Luis Elizondo were meeting. And with that guy from the Yes Theory as well. And I thought that was interesting, right? At the time, I didn't think anything of it. But now that David Grush has come out and some time has passed, it just got me thinking, what was this top secret project? Was that it? Because Luis Elizondo tweeted out after David Grush came out that he was his friend and he knew him and supported what he was doing, right? But there hasn't been much push from Luis Elizondo. There hasn't been much from Luis Elizondo. He's kind of fallen off the map, right? And sort of David Grush maybe took the spot, right, as the top guy. Because he essentially had the same job as Luis Elizondo, just in a different program, right? So, because supposedly Luis Elizondo ran ATIP, right? And David Grush is running the UAP task force, or was at the time working in it, right? Which is how he did his investigation and came out with the whistleblower complaint. So, I need your help. I really want to know what this top secret project is. Do you think it is this David Grush thing, and he was connected to it, right? But I felt like there would have been a bigger push from Luis Elizondo to be like, yeah, I'm with this guy. This is me too, because it's been other people, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp. Or is he connecting himself in the background? Or what else could this top secret thing be? Was it the Galileo project? Because he was working on that too, but I don't see that as being like this huge thing that everyone's going to eat their words. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm curious what y'all think, if it's this person or not. Now, this person that I can't say who it is, right? A person very close to Luis Elizondo. His name has never been mentioned out in the UFO community ever. And if you did a little digging on Luis Elizondo, you might see the name and may not connect it. But this person didn't want to come out public because they didn't want the backlash from the UFO community and to be attacked and whatever, have their name, dragged through the mud, as they sort of implied to me on the conversation. And I thought that was interesting. I understood it, but it is interesting, right? And they still haven't come out. Now, they do work in the community. I've seen them doing things, but nobody has ever mentioned them. I've never heard their name popped out, and I'm not trying to do that right now. I value having sources. But I will say, I am curious what this top secret project is. And when is this book coming out from Luis Elizondo, right? I will say one thing that I've never mentioned, and I didn't mention it in this video, and I didn't play it. But during that conversation, the guy did sort of semi-threaten me. He implied that, if I didn't report, positively about Luis Elizondo, that I would lose my access to Luis Elizondo. I wouldn't get an interview, And at the time, I kind of took it like, well, I'm going to weigh it here, right? I want to tell the truth, and I always will, but you also need access to interview these people, So I wasn't trying to step on any toes, and because nothing was coming out in the book, I said, okay, we'll hold off on that. And again, I just followed up about the interview and kept getting, yeah, it's coming, book's coming, you'll get the interview, and then I just stopped reaching out because there's just no news, right? Nothing's happening. But I am curious what that top secret project is. And yeah, getting kind of semi-threatened, I would handle it differently now, let's just say. And because I just want to report the truth, whether it's positive or not, that's not my concern. Now, to be fair to Luis Elizondo, I support him. I'm not a hater of Luis Elizondo. I watched all his interviews. I support him. I think he's done great things for this community. And I'm not sure where a lot of the pushback comes from, right? Stephen Greenstreet and that whole movement, which, to be fair, when it first came out, I was like kind of intrigued by it as well, the story. But since then, I'm not a fan of Stephen Greenstreet or his reporting. But I just need your help. Like, what do you guys think this is? What top secret project was this person talking about that Luis Elizondo was working on, that everyone's going to eat their words? You think it's still coming? Was it the David Grush thing? David Grush has just taken over the community, right? This topic so much. And it makes me think that that's what, because he was just basically like, oh, I'm going to be working with that guy. Everyone's going to know Luis Elizondo's legit because he's connected to X person. Is this the person? Is this the project to get this guy to come out and whistleblow? Because I know if Jesse Michaels knew David Grush, that Luis Elizondo's talking to him too. They're all talking, right? Why wouldn't you? Then you got a year later, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp meet David Grush. Was that because of Jesse Michaels and Luis Elizondo, and they decided who the best person would be to go through? So they sent him through that, and then Jesse Michaels comes on the back end and makes this documentary, right? And again, just for transparency, I'm a huge fan of all these people. Okay, I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm just trying to understand what's going on and what potentially this top secret project could be. So look, I'm going to put a link to this full video. You can watch it. It's on my other YouTube channel. And I am curious what this is about. And if we'll ever find out what this top secret project is. Supposedly when this book comes out, I'll get an interview. Who knows how that works, right? All this stuff. I've done hundreds of interviews, guys. And we've reached out to all kinds of people over the years. So it can go so many different ways when you do that. People can string you along. People can tell you directly no and you move on. Or they do mean it and they eventually do give you the interview, right? It's a little bit of everything. So I don't know. But I am curious. What do you guys think about Luis Elizondo's book? Is that going to come out? I don't know. What's his top secret project? As far as who this person is, I will keep that in my pocket for now. Again, that person is not out in the community. They are very involved in a way that is interesting. I do see them on social media, and I see what they post about, and they are very well connected to this. So I will be curious to know, what happens there. So again, tell me what you guys think this stuff could be, the top secret project, whatever. I am curious. So thanks for your help. I appreciate it. All right. So again, if you like the content, please hit the like button. That definitely helps a lot. Leave a comment. And if you enjoy all the content, hit the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every day of a brand new video from Vetted. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.